Well, here it is, kind of in its current condition. I've already started working on it. I haven't filmed anything I'm working on, but this door was a major pain in my butt. It was dented in all the way across it. It actually goes into the quarter panel too that's behind the door. I had to straighten it out as good as I could, and then as you can see, I got quite a bit of filler in it, but it's not thick filler. It's just I had to put filler all over the door, so I think it's about ready for primer. Back in these corners, the back bumper, you might have been able to see from the photos, it was pretty crushed in. I got that straightened out, started getting some filler in it, but I gotta wait for the new battery tray. I gotta weld the battery tray in before I can fill it. Interior gutted, just got some parts in it. Started sanding off the rust spots. Trying to find the dents too and cleaning it up and trying to get it straight again. Not too much rust, thankfully, but there is a couple rust spots that I gotta fix. I'm getting ready to sandblast it, so I'm starting to strip it down. Look at how crazy this is. Look how many wasp nests are just right up here in the front vents here. Those are all the wasp nests that I pulled out just out of those vents. I might have to name this something after the amount of wasp nests that were in this thing, because there's still a ton underneath, there's some in the back, there's still some inside. An insane amount of wasp nests. But really, I gotta get this rust off, so it's gotta be sandblasted. Not too much rust, like I said, but there's some rust, so I gotta sandblast it. I think most of this paint is still good. It's been on here since 1971, and it's in this good a shape, so I don't think I'm gonna remove everything. I'll probably just remove, the rusty spots and the bad areas. But for the most part, all this paint that's been up here on the top of the door since 1971, I don't think there's a reason to pull it off. So I'll just prime over it and then paint over the top of it and, get it straight with the primer. But I don't think I'm gonna remove it just because it's a lot of extra work. I think it's a VW bus, so I think it'll be just fine. So anyway, I'm gonna keep pulling some stuff off, getting ready for sandblasting, start pulling some windows out. And well, it's hard to get this thing on camera in the garage here. It's so tall. There's kind of a little sneak peek of the engine tins that a little dusty, but a little sneak preview of the color. So I just took the front bumper off, and like I said, there's more wasp nests. This thing is just full of it. These ones, they were building nest on top of old nest on top of old nest, all the way down here, and the huge pile of other ones. It just doesn't end. It's insane. I've seen wasp nests in just about every old car, but this by far is the most I've ever seen. I have to name this thing after these or something. It's crazy. Well, this was a major bummer and setback that I wasn't anticipating. Back behind, the panel in the front here, the front panel of the bus, had a couple little rust spots in it along the bottom. I was like, oh, maybe not a big deal. I can replace those pieces or fix those patches and patch them up and I'll be good. But I ended up started cutting it up and found a lot of rust, a lot of cancer in here. Which is really disappointing because I wasn't anticipating this much work or this much surgery on the car. Thankfully, they make these parts. They do not come apart easy. They do not come off. You gotta cut welds, cut spot welds. Everything meets up in this corner and it doesn't come apart easily. And then everything is obviously rusted. I cut the panel in half to try to make it a little bit easier for me to get out. I've spent hours cutting this out to get it back to ready to get the new panel in. Was not anticipating this. Big setback, major bummer. That's the way it goes. I just didn't see that rust. It was almost impossible to see when I was inspecting the van or the bus. I mean, there was a little bit of rust in the front and a little bit in the back, but I thought it was just like some panels that I could easily repair. But unfortunately, it's not. But so I'm gonna keep cutting and grinding, get this piece out. I got the new piece, some of the new pieces here, but I'm waiting on a couple more, so it might be a little while. But that's the way it goes, restoring these old things. Well, I cut it all out. All that old support, it's all gone. Had to tear all kinds of metal out. All rusty, all cancerous. Got the new panel set up in here. It, of course, being in a reproduction, doesn't fit super well. I'm gonna have to modify it, but at least that old rusty panel is gone. I'm gonna have to finesse it in there a little bit. I also don't know why they bonded the outer and the inner structure already together, since I can't put it in that way. I have to take it all back apart, so undo all the spot welds that they have, weld the inner panel in first, then put the corner pieces in that I'm waiting on that will go over it, and then put the top panel over the corner pieces. A little disappointing, but that's the way it goes with these cheap parts sometimes, and these reproduction parts. They don't always fit very well. That's the way it goes. Well, decent update. Finally got all the rust repaired on this thing. It kicked my butt. I'm kind of disappointed by it just because I didn't realize there was so much rust. This whole front panel was rusted. Everything behind it was rusted. Not a good time. Back behind, this front fender was all rusted back here. It was all rusted up in here. Built a new panel to replace that. So no more rust. Also back in here, this was full of rust. I had to cut a bunch out, weld a new piece in, 2 new pieces in. Floor pan too, had some holes here that I had to fix. Lots of rust. I didn't really notice it. I thought I was better at spotting rust, but clearly not. Same thing on this side. This whole front lower part was all rusted up. This is all new in here. It warped a little bit on me right here when I was welding. I just had to pop that back out. But yeah, new front panel. All the front crash support is all brand new. Looking better. Same thing back here. Rusted up in here. I think that's all the rust. I think I got it all. So now I can really start hitting hard on the body work. Rusted out here too. Now I just got to start doing body work and getting it ready for paint, which it's a colossal vehicle, so there's lots of body work to be done, lots of paint to be done, but making a little progress. Very much way slower than I anticipated. I was hoping to be in paint stage by this point, and nowhere close to paint at the moment. So I'm gonna keep going.